Hi, my name is John Alzheimer, and I'm a credit expert who contributes to creditcardinsider.com. Today's question is, how do websites and online banking make sure that credit card information is secure? It's kind of an interesting question given the timing. Unless you have been hiding in a cave for the past 2 years, then you are probably aware that multiple retailers have been subject recently to massive data breaches. Target, Home Depot, Michaels, JP Morgan Chase, just to name a few. Most of these breaches appear to be coming from outside of the United States. And while it's difficult to peg the location exactly, speculation is that a lot of these are coming out of Russia, although no one's really been able to prove that because there haven't really been any arrests made. When a bank is breached, it is a financial crime, and the Secret Service takes over from that point. As far as security, all companies, whether they're websites or financial institutions, use secure server technology. And while that is a very secure, maybe frontline level of defense, it is absolutely not foolproof. And really, all of these hacks and such, and they're going to continue, prove that there truly is no 100% secure system. This is one of the downsides to the online and automated and convenient environment in which we live right now. The ability for us to use this to buy $30,000 worth of stuff, the ability to pay online without leaving your home at 2 a.m., the ability to use your cell phone to make payments instead of having to carry cash with you. These are all conveniences that do in fact have a downside, and the downside is that hackers tend to be pretty smart in some cases and can break into these secure devices and download the information and then recreate it, sell it on these underground websites, and then people use it fraudulently and try to rip you off. That's the bad news. The good news is that there are considerable federal laws that protect you more so than they protect the bank or the merchant that has been ripped off, and capture liability on fraud. The Fair Credit Billing Act, for example, capture liability to $50, and all four of the major credit card networks, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover, all have zero liability policies on top of that. So if your credit card is ever stolen, unless you just simply ignore the fact that it has been stolen, you will never have to pay one dime out of your pocket. That's the good news. If you use debit cards, you have similar protections, but not as strong. There's a federal statute called the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, and that particular law captures liability on fraudulent debit card use to no more than $500. But you have to notify the bank almost immediately, or your liability cap starts to go up and it ends up at $500 if you just ignore the breach for some period of time or ignore the fraud for some period of time. That's bad news. The bad news is that a debit card is not a bank's money. It's your money. If someone were to steal my credit card and go out and use it, that's the bank's money. It's not my money. So the sense of urgency to deal with the hack or the fraud or the breach is not on my shoulders. It's on the bank's shoulders. When your debit card is stolen, however, the sense of urgency is on your shoulders because that's your money. And while that money is not in your account, it's not covering other transactions that you think are being covered. So auto debits, for example, rent, auto debits for your house payment, auto debits for your car payment, auto debits for your gym membership or your cable bill or your phone bill. These are all things that you expect money to be there to cover. If someone has stolen your debit card and has drained it, yes, you will probably eventually get the money back, but it's not going to be immediate. It can take weeks. And while the money is not there, it is not covering other transactions, which means you can actually go into a negative position, have to pay over limit fees, late fees, and it's just a mess. So while banks and websites are secure, they are not secure to the point where hacks do not occur. Data breaches happen. If you follow the data breach kind of trends and categories in industry, you'll see that they happen very frequently, usually once a week. And most of them do not get reported upon because they're not as big as Target, they're not as big as Home Depot, they're not as big as JP Morgan Chase. So we don't ever hear about them. But they do happen quite frequently. Hospitals, schools and universities, merchants, retailers, banks are all subject to data breaches, and they're all unfortunately far too common. So your best way to help protect against data breach is to think about what type of card you're using when you're buying things at these companies, because you do have a difference in liability protection. If you have any other questions about credit or other financial topics, then please submit them to creditcardinsider.com or in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a great day.